Hi everyone, welcome back to the Midwest Stitches YouTube channel. My name is Danielle and this is my channel where I talk all about my crafting adventures. Today is Monday, January 27th. Today we have a few finished objects to talk about and a really big finished object that I can't wait to share with you, and a couple of works in progress. And I'm going to show you just a little bit of mail because I'll talk about why I want to share that particular mail with you here later on in the episode, but stay tuned for that. I think it's something really fun and exciting to share that I want to talk about, and I'll tell you why all of that here in just a little bit. So let's dive on in and get started. You can find me on Instagram at midwest.stitches, and you can find all of my project pages for all of my knit and crochet projects on Ravelry at Midwest Stitches. Okay, so first off, we're going to start with obviously finished objects. So let me grab these. I have one finished pair of socks that I want to show you, or that are finished. And here they are. I'm so pleased with these. Here are my lump of coal socks. Aren't those gorgeous? These are my lump of coal shorties, the colorway lump of coal by Deep Dyed Yarns. And I love this colorway so much. Like, look at the pooling on that. And each one of them, like, each side looks different. So, like, there's that side. And then here's this one. Aren't those amazing? So these are obviously for me. I knit these on 2mm needles, 64 stitches. I did 8 rounds for the cuff and 4 rounds for the leg. And I have just about half of this skein left that I'm going to use to make socks for a gift. And I'm going to use, they're going to be a little bit longer, but I'm going to use a black yarn for the cuff and probably the toe. And hopefully that will obviously give it a little bit more length. So super happy to have these done. I cast these on Christmas Day, I believe. It was my Christmas Day cast on. So working right through those whips, like I'm still in the working through my current works in progress mode. I haven't cast on anything new, so that's exciting, even though I've definitely had the temptation to cast on new things. But I'll talk about future cast-ons also later on in the episode. My next finished object I will show you real quick is another dishcloth, another one of these. And this one I will show you right here. See this little like bump here? So I did this a little bit different. I still did the Russian grafting technique, but this time instead of I did a little bit different than last time, because in the instructions, if you're going to Kitchener it or seam it together in that manner with a long tail, you leave the last row unknit, if you will. I don't really know how to explain that. You'd have to look at the pattern to know what I'm talking about. But you leave that row undone, if you will, and then you seam the two ends together. And on the one I showed last time, I knit that last full row as I would with every other segment, and then I used the Russian grafting technique to graft them together, and that created just a little bit of a bubble here in the middle, but honestly after we washed it, it didn't really matter, and it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things anyway. For this one, I decided to try it as the instructions said and then use the Russian grafting technique, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. So here is the seam here, this right here. So it left a lot of holes. So the back still looks nice. So this is the seam. It still looks nice. It's still usable, but I probably wouldn't do it this particular way going forward. I would definitely knit that last row all the way and then seam them together and, you know, move on. But I'm still loving these. I'm still hoping to do, you know, work through one color at a time. And I don't currently have any going at the moment because I have some other whips that I'm working on that are getting all of my attention. And then I think next month in February, I will dive back into working on these more. So there's those. And, oh, almost forgot. Almost went into works in progress. Hello. The biggest finished object is staring me right in the face. So I finished my crochet granny blanket. This thing is so massive. Like, look at this. It's huge. So I'm going to try and stand up and show this to you as best I can, but it's very long. It's very heavy. This is a mixture of DK weight yarns and fingering held double and just kind of a mix match, whatever, however you say that, of yarns and scraps. And if you're new here, what I did was I had 2 different blankets going. I'm trying to figure out where the end is. I had 2 different blankets going where one was fingering held double, the other one was just DK. And neither one of them were going to be done anytime soon. And in their current state that they were in, I didn't feel like working on them. So what I did was I combined them. I joined them together with just a granny square joining method, and I've basically made one long rectangle blanket. So enough of that. Let's show it off. So this was the fingering held double side. So here we go. I'm going to try to stand back and hopefully you can see it all. This is hard to show. So there's where I join them in the middle. There's the 2 joining. And then this was the mostly DK square. So and there's the bottom. It's very, very long. Like here, I'll stand back even further. So I'm 5'7". So if I stand up, it covers me from head to toe. It covers me from head to toe and then some. So there's a little bit of room on the top, to pull it up and then to cover my feet. And then I don't really know how wide it is, but here's the width. So it's a decent amount. So I'm very pleased, very happy to have this done. I worked pretty diligently on it over the last couple of weeks to finish it off because, quite frankly, I was tired of working on it. It's very hot. It was very hot to lay with working on it because it's, kind of all balled up. And so you have like extra layers. So it just, I don't know. It was hot to work on, and it was because it's so heavy, it's very cumbersome to kind of rotate around, and yeah. So basically I was done working on it. So I worked extra on it to finish it, and I had a little bit of yarn left from the cakes that I was working on, and I just put those in my scrap bag. So I think they were about maybe 5 or 10 grams a piece, but it definitely wasn't enough to go another full round. These rounds were very, very, very long. So there we go. And there's it all kind of bundle up. So this will be a good 1-person blanket for the winter, especially we had a cold snap. I think the entire United States did over the last couple of weeks. So if we have any more like that throughout the winter, it'll definitely be good to have that, in the living room, just in case or whatever. Now we're on to works in progress. So the first thing I want to show, this isn't completely done, but I can't remember. I can't remember if I had a strip done on my blanket the last time. You've seen that one. I think you've seen the second one. I think I did show this. If I didn't show you the strip I finished the last time, I apologize for my little squares knitted blanket. If I didn't show the third strip that I finished, I apologize. I will obviously show it when I get them pieced together, but here's the latest strip. It's almost finished. I need to put the border on it. So here is the strip. This is the bottom. So here's all of that. All the ends are woven in. And there's the top. So I'm just waiting on more yarn to come in the mail. I'm using Cascade Heritage sock in the color Snow for my contrast color. I actually ran out. I had just enough to finish the top of this strip, the top and the bottom portions to for that contrast. And then I only had like, I don't know, maybe a gram or a gram and a half left. It was definitely not enough to do anything else with. So definitely used all of that yarn wisely. And that was, I bought 2 full skeins. So 2 full 100-gram skeins of that contrast color got me 3 full strips done, and basically half of one because I still have to do the border on this one. So I ordered 5 more skeins, and that should, if I do it right, that should give me enough to completely finish the blanket for how big that I want to make it. So going into that, I talked about this a while ago, I think last month, but I did complete, look at this little little bundle of blanket beginnings. So these are all the beginnings of strips on Stitch Saver. I talked about doing this, and I actually went and did it. And so I will have 12 strips total for this blanket when it's done. And these are all ready to go. So I just have to put the needles in, pick up the stitches, and knit the rest of it as I get scraps. And I loved doing this and this idea because now the strips started, it's already ready to go. Definitely once I get my yarn in the mail, I already have enough. I already have 1 scrap to start another strip. So I have it on the needles already. So here's one of them. And I have this bright green to put in there. So I just need the contrast color in between. And my plan for this blanket is to have it, you know, kind of waiting in the wings, if you will, for when I'm done with a project like a pair of socks or something that I'm working on that I have enough of a scrap to add into this, and just kind of add to it throughout the year. I don't think I'm going to fully like put it away and be done with it, just because, you know, I have 12 strips with 12 color blocks, or I guess 11 full blocks to add to each strip. So that's a lot. That's a lot of colors that I will add, and I definitely won't knit that many socks or have that much scraps throughout the year to completely finish it off. So I will definitely have room come December again to do my DIY advent, which I plan on doing, to add to this. And we'll see where that leaves us at Christmas time next year for this blanket. I am going to, when I get that new yarn in, when I finish this strip completely, when I put that border on it, I'm going to piece the 4 strips together, and I will show that probably next time. I plan on working on the seaming probably next weekend or throughout the week, here and there, to put that together, because I'm excited to see what it looks like all seamed together. That's like super exciting to me. And I don't mind weaving in ends or stuff like that. So I don't think that I'm going to mind seaming it together. I don't think it's going to take a super long time to weave in, seam the strips together. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about it. But, you know, we're in it, and I'm going to complete the project because I think it's going to be a beautiful blanket when it's all said and done. So that is that for my blanket project, to update you guys on that. And I do have a half finished object. Let me just put it on the blocker. It's very large. It is bigger than the blocker. I finished one of my grandpa's socks. So you can see it's very, very long. This is Cascade Heritage in the color Moss. I knit this on 2.25 millimeter needles just to give a little bit of a bigger gauge for him. But it's still 64 stitches. But this is 25 rounds for the cuff, 75 rounds for the leg, and then the foot. So I split this cake in half. So out of this 50 gram for this sock, I only had like 5 grams left. So his socks, the way he likes them, uses up almost an entire cake of yarn. So there's that one finished. And the second one, I am trying to get this done by Friday because that's the end of January, and I think I can do it because this is the only sock project that I'm working on. I'm actually only working on 2 projects right now, and I'll show you the other one here in a minute, but I have the cuff done and 25 rounds of the leg. So my goal is to work on this throughout the week, and hopefully I can get it done. I think I can, but that's my goal. Have it done end of January, and I can kind of close out all of my old whips that can be done within this month. So that was kind of my plan all along, and I think it's doable, but we'll see. And if I don't get it done by then, I'm not going to fret about it because it'll be close enough to being done that I don't care. So, but I would love to cast on new socks for February. Yesterday I kind of had a yarn winding party, and I caked up 2 skeins of yarn for Valentine's Day. I just kind of pulled from my stash what looked like Valentine's yarn to me. Some of them weren't like Valentine's colors, but they are in that color family. So I went with what spoke to me. Okay. My final work in progress that I want to show you is my DK flower blanket and the progress on that. So you guys saw it like this the last time. I had this flower added, this flower added. I have now added or started adding this flower. So I talked the last time about how I was going to do it different, and I did start to do that. I'd started adding the contrast color. I was just going to do it all the way around and then connect it, but the way that I am connecting them, that would not have worked. I realized that after, because you can see here between this flower and this one, there's only 1 hexagon. So I just had to scrap that, and I might have to pull out, I think I might have to take out one of these and like half of one of this and to connect another one. But that's no big deal. That was better than me thinking I'd have to take out all of the other ones I've already done, because I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I'm just adding it, and I will adjust as necessary. And again, what I'm doing with this is I have a bunch of flowers made. I think I have about 10 of them, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to add all of these in. I'm going to crochet them all together with the contrast color, which by the way, this color is Pop-Tart Crust from Kimber's Cozy Creations. Add them together, excuse me, add them together and see how big it is and how many more flowers I want to make it. I'm not sure how big I will make this blanket. We will see, but so far, right now, I'm just adding roughly 1 or 2 hexagons a day. It kind of just depends on what I feel like doing. But this project and the second sock on this, those are the only things I'm working on currently, and in the hope that I can get that second sock done. Okay, so that's all of my works in progress right now. I'm not working on anything else, like I just said. So the mail I wanted to show you is obviously yarn. I have said this previously, but I am kind of doing a low buy / no buy. It's more like a low buy, but for my yarn this year, I'm really trying to just work from stash, unless, like with these blankets, I need the contrast color to continue on with the project. I'm okay with purchasing that, because then that will help me finish a project, if that makes sense. But I was on Instagram, and the Purling Perry, here's her label, she posted that she'd come out with a couple of new neutral colors, and one of them was called Snow Cream. And do I have that here? I think I do. So here's Snow Cream. And it's kind of a yellowy, creamy color. Let's see, what can I show you to compare to? Okay, so let's see if you can see the difference. So this is Snow from Cascade Heritage. This is Snow Cream. So I saw this and I bought it to see it in person because I thought it might be good for this blanket, but I'm not going to use it for the contrast. To me, there's too much of a difference that you would be able to tell, and I don't want that. But what I am going to do, I'm going to use this to seam them together, because you use the mattress stitch to seam the strips together so you won't even see the yarn. So I am going to use it for that. It's not going to go to waste or go in the stash, or at least not all of it. But the other one I'm excited about, these neutrals, she posted that one, and then I was looking on her Etsy and I saw this one as well. Isn't that such a nice neutral brown, like a lighter kind of a beige? This is called Cottontail, and I will show you in comparison to Pop-Tart crust the difference. Like, look at that. So I'm still going to continue with Pop-Tart crust for this one, but I've decided I'm going to use this Cottontail color for my fingering weight blanket, because originally when I was looking for a neutral colored, like beigey kind of a brown, this was actually more what I wanted, but I like that I'm going to have two different contrast colors for my two flower blankets, so that there's kind of a, you know, they're kind of broken up that way, you know, one, a darker one for the bigger one, the lighter color for the smaller one. And yeah, I'm very happy with this. So if you're in, the reason I bring this up, the reason I was excited about it in the beginning is if you've been looking for a shop that has some more neutral tonal colors, because I was having a hard time finding something that was kind of this light beigey brown, but it doesn't have any like red tones in it or pink or anything. It's just very, very neutral. It's very nice. So if you need some neutral colors, like the snow cream color, if you want something that's not stark white, more of an off-white, a little bit of a yellow hue to it, these are really nice. So anyway, again, that is from the Purling Perry. You can find her on Instagram or on her Etsy shop. And yeah, I mean, it's good. So I'm very excited to use that in the fingering weight blanket. And when I start joining those, I will show that to you guys and you can kind of see, I'll show both so you can see the contrast between the two blankets once it's worked up. Anyway, I wanted to share that because I have such a hard time finding neutrals. Like I said, I looked on Knit Picks, I looked on a couple of other yarn dyers that I know dye a lot of tonals, and none of them were really what I was looking for, especially at the time when I started those blankets and I was trying to figure out a contrast color, but this one is perfect. I do know, what is it, Coats & Co? I think that's the name. She does a lot of neutrals, but she didn't have bigger skeins in a color that I could try, or even a smaller one. I think she was out at the time. Anyway, Breaking Yarn, she has beautiful neutrals. Lily of the Valley is one of my favorites. Her Jane Margolis colorway is like a true good black. Like it's just, oh, it's amazing. It's, if you're wanting a true black with no like gray tones, or it's just a solid black, that one's great. Lots of neutrals in her shop, or I should say not neutrals, but tonals. Because she's got Jesse Pinkman and Hank Schrader, and if you're sensing a theme here, they're all named after Breaking Bad characters if you didn't know already. So anyway, those are just a couple of shops I can think of. And I know Granite State Yarns, she had a winter collection that came out, and I didn't get to snag it, but maybe another time if I need that color. She had a nice silvery gray color, and she called it Ice Skates. And it was like this cottontail color where I saw it and I was like, that's exactly what I've been looking for. So at one point in time, I might see if she's going to dye more of that, or if she'll take a special order or something for that color. Because it was like the silver, you know, if you've been here for a while, you know I was looking for a silver color, a silvery kind of a gray that would go with a Christmas blanket that I want to make. And I'm still going to make that blanket. It's the type of blanket I'm making has shifted, but I'll share that when I get started on it. But that was the silver color. I was like, that's it. That's the shade and the tone that I was looking for. Anyway, if you're interested in any of those shops, go ahead and check them out. They've got great colors and yeah, awesome businesses. So I think that's going to be it for me today. I don't have anything else to share with you guys. I do have, oh, that's my computer charging. But I do have some sewing that I'm going to do that I'll share with you the next time, just some personal sewing. And then there's one right there too that I will share when I get that done. I don't know that that'll be done the next time. I need to make time to work on that. I'm trying something new. And if it works out, I'll share it with you guys. But so that's all I have to share with you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. And if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you aren't subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And I will see you guys next time. Take care and God bless. Bye.